Are you literally flushing your hard-earned cash down the toilet on protein powder? I mean, we've all been there, right? You walk into any supplement store or browse online, and you're immediately bombarded with these massive tubs and flashy marketing promising explosive muscle growth. But you really have to ask yourself, how much of that is actually backed by hardcore clinical science, and how much is just, well, expensive gym bro science? Welcome to today's Explainer. We are taking a serious magnifying glass to the actual peer-reviewed data on whey protein. Our goal here is absolutely crucial. We're going to completely demystify the dense science of muscle mass accretion. By the end of this, you are going to know exactly what to buy, how much to take, and when to take it, all based on a comprehensive scientific review published in Nutrition and Dietary Supplements. All right, so here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll be decoding whey protein. Then we'll dive into the leucine advantage, perfecting your exact protein dose, finding your daily intake limit, and finally, building the ultimate supplement stack. Let's jump right in. Starting off with Section 1, decoding whey protein, the types and formats. If you've ever stood in the supplement aisle, you know how incredibly overwhelming it can be to choose the right powder. Let's break down the three main categories you're actually going to encounter in the wild. First up, we have WPC, or whey protein concentrate. This contains anywhere from 25 to 90% intact protein, keeping a lot of the natural subfractions intact. But if you want something pure, we look at WPI, or whey protein isolate. Through further intense filtration processes, WPI hits 90% or higher protein purity, stripping out almost all the lactose and lipids. Finally, we have WPH, whey protein hydrolysate. You can think of this as basically pre-digested protein. Manufacturers use enzymes or acids to break down the protein structures into smaller peptides, which means it gets absorbed into your bloodstream incredibly fast. Moving right along to Section 2, the leucine advantage, also known as the ignition switch. To really understand why whey is biologically superior, we have to look at muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. This is the absolute core concept here. MPS is the biological process of building new muscle mass. It is the ultimate anabolic goal your muscles are desperately trying to achieve after a tough, muscle-damaging workout. And the essential key to triggering this entire process? Indispensable amino acids. And the data brilliantly illustrates exactly why whey sits on the throne. When matched gram for gram, whey protein isolate delivers a massive payload of these essential building blocks that plant-based alternatives, things like hemp, pea, and soy protein, simply cannot compete with. It's not even close. But why do we care so much about leucine specifically? Well, because leucine isn't just another amino acid. It is literally the biological ignition switch for muscle protein synthesis. Without enough of it, the engine just doesn't start. The science shows that a bare minimum of 0.039 grams per kilogram of your body weight per day is required just to meet baseline human nutritional requirements. But to maximize muscle growth, especially after training, we need to push well past that baseline. Which brings us to Section 3. Perfecting your protein dose and finding those optimal servings. It's time to figure out exactly how much powder you should actually be scooping. There is a massive, scientifically proven difference between what your body needs on a rest day versus what it demands after clanging iron. On a rest day, the optimal dose is about 0.24 grams per kilogram of body mass. That is totally enough to maximize your resting MPS when you're just chilling out recovering. But after a demanding whole-body workout, that requirement shoots way up. To optimally stimulate muscle protein synthesis after heavy training, you need that cheat code dose of over 0.40 grams per kilogram. Now, what's really fascinating about this model is how it visually maps the exact thresholds of protein and leucine needed to maximize your gains under different conditions. Under resting conditions, the curve flattens out much earlier. Your body just doesn't need as much. But under exercise conditions, your muscles act like a total sponge. The ceiling raises significantly, and you require that higher threshold of over 0.40 grams per kilogram to reach that peak anabolic state. All right, Section 4, the daily intake limit, or knowing your ceiling. 1.6 grams per kilogram. Seriously, I want you to burn this number into your memory. So the crucial point is this. The science overwhelmingly shows that once your total daily dietary protein intake hits 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight, the extra muscle-building benefits of adding more whey supplements are dramatically minimized. If you are already eating plenty of chicken, beef, and eggs throughout the day and effortlessly hitting this 1.6 threshold, slamming an extra 50 grams of whey isn't going to magically build more muscle. Actually, scratch that. It's not doing much of anything for hypertrophy. Your body has an overarching dietary limit where extra protein just stops being useful and is simply oxidized or excreted. Finally, let's hit section 5, building the ultimate stack to maximize your training.
So, if simply dumping more and more whey into your shaker cup isn't the answer, what is? How do we combine whey with other specific ingredients to genuinely maximize your resistance training outcomes? Well, it starts with carbohydrates. Taking whey on its own is great, for sure, but combining carbohydrates plus whey equals suppressed muscle protein breakdown. When you add carbs to your protein shake, you spike your insulin levels. Now, insulin acts as a permissive nutrient here. It signals your body to hit the brakes on muscle breakdown. It works incredibly synergistically with your whey protein, so while the whey is busy building brand new muscle, the carbs are actively protecting the muscle you already have.
So, let's see how this builds into a complete, scientifically proven stack. First, we start with whey protein for that rapid influx of leucine and amino acids. Then we add carbohydrates to spike insulin and halt muscle breakdown. Next up, creatine monohydrate, which research consistently shows elicits superior hypertrophy when paired with whey. And finally, we introduce casein protein. While whey is fast-acting, casein digests slowly. Co-ingesting whey and casein has been shown to be way more effective for maximizing muscle accretion over a training period compared to just taking whey alone. It's the whole shebang. Which leaves us with this final, highly critical question to evaluate your own routine. If you're already eating a giant steak for dinner and you're easily hitting that 1.6 grams per kilogram of daily protein through your whole foods, is that post-workout shake actually doing anything for you? Or is it literally just an expensive placebo? It's time to take a hard look at the science we just covered, look at your daily diet, and decide if your supplement stack is truly optimized or if it's time to rethink the way you train.